With it being the middle of September and some beautiful weather due to roll in, I thought I'd make the most of it and head out surface fishing. I hadn't done much surface fishing this year, so I thought I'd head to a local park lake with a generous stocking of carp and see if I could get some floater fishing action.
Well, it's absolutely roasting today and I'm doing a bit of floater fishing. As you can see, I've got just normal chum mixers here. Nothing fancy, no really expensive pellets, just nice and cheap mixers from the supermarket. But just to spice them up a little bit, I've got some Monster Red Oil. I'll give it a nice generous coating because today, although it's the hottest day of the year and it's 32 degrees, we've actually got quite a bit of a wind. So not only adding attraction to my mixers, it's also going to benefit me with the wind by flattening the surface layers off, and I'll be able to see any fish feeding as the mixers drift away and maybe move swims if I need to follow the fish. So yeah, it's a great little edge and definitely worth doing, not only if windy but anytime you want to spice up your mixers.
I applied my bait in all different methods, catapult and spomming, and fished alongside my mate Ryan. With there being plenty of carp to go at, it was always good to fish as a team and you could both work together to try and maximise the best chance of catching a few fish and having a great day's angling.
Keeping it nice and simple, I'm just using an artificial hook bait. Nice and easy to use, just side hooking. They've got a nice little sleeve sort of moulded into them that you can use as almost a liner when side hooking them. For the float, I'm using your conventional style bolt self-hooking float. I always fish one that's a little bit overweighted, just because if there's a crosswind, I like it so I can hold my rigging position in amongst feeding fish for that little bit longer, and you've got more chance of not having to keep recasting and spooking. Also, with it being heavier, you can cast past feeding fish and drag it in amongst them than having to really give it some if it's not heavy enough to get out there.
Yep.
Well, it's been frustrating so far. There's not much been happening. The fish have been so spread out, and eventually just resulted to trying to fish more single hook baits on cruising fish, and eventually managed to hook one, which as a result it's absolutely scorching too, so you don't want to be standing out in this weather too long. Putting up a decent little fight, this one, or it's fight quite well in here. Well, there you go. A little park lake common, caught surface fishing. It's not the biggest or prettiest, but still a result on a really hot day like today. But there's a few fish about, so I'm going to get him back, see if we can catch a better one. But if not, it's been a great result for a little evening surface fishing. Let's get him back. Well, I just had that little common and put him back, but a few guys in the first pegs on this park lake are packing up. I don't blame them with the heat fishing on the bottom. It seemed like a lot of the fish were there this morning, and having to fish down the other end of the lake, it didn't give me really much option of being in and around the main stock of the fish. So I've noticed that they're packing up, and I had a little word with them and moved my kit down there. So I'm just going to take a walk down, and fingers crossed we can get in and amongst some more carp. After moving to another area of the lake, it was obvious that the carp were abundant down there. We wasted no time and got the rigs out and some bait in position, and the carp started taking very confidently. It was surprising as it was quite tricky to get a bite at first, and we had to chop and change hook baits, and in the end we resorted to pink pop-ups, and that really got us a few extra bites fast. Me and Ryan both caught carp in quick succession and managed to end the evening with a few fish under our belt. There we go, another lovely park lake common, and a bit of teamwork floater fishing. It's always nice to get out and get a few bites, but we've got a few mirrors in the net, so we're going to get this one back and get them out. Here we go, a lovely little starburst mirror, and a nice one to end the day. An old gnarly park lake linear, and great fun surface fishing with my mate Ryan today. 1 of 3 in an afternoon, and yeah, well chuffed with this one. Gonna take some photos and slip him back and head off home.